doctrine of God never changed throughout the whole book. It's only man's ideas that changed it. Christianity changes the Bible. Catholicism changes the Bible. My mother to this day is worshiping this bastard. Even after she's seen it, and I read her the truth. Yeah. So what is? What I want to come to another thing. Why are the so-called, if we are all one people, why are the so-called Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, why are the lighter skinned Hispanics, they think that they're at some higher level, or they think that they're different from the darker Hispanics? You got a lot of Puerto Ricans that say, oh, I'm Spaniard. Yeah. They got a lot of Puerto Ricans that say, I'm white. They just straight up say it. Well, we're going to show you in the Bible what God prophesied about the Hispanics and why we will be such different in color.
Book of Hosea, chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
Ephraim, meaning the so-called Puerto Ricans, and it's really going into all the Hispanics, has mixed himself among the people. When the so-called Spaniards came, one of their main jobs was to start breeding with our people. And when they came to Puerto Rico, they didn't find any light-skinned people. No. It was all dark. Dark. There you go. And through the process of time, they got us to hate our black skin. So one thing they did to divide us was they treated the light-skinned ones a little bit better than the dark-skinned ones. So there's hatred that comes between us.
Color.
Yeah, and you can see that today. The light-skinned Puerto Ricans treat the dark-skinned ones like they don't even exist. They look at them like it's an odd thing in the earth. Like, what? You Puerto Rican? Get the hell out of here. Nah, you black. Look at Sammy Sosa in the news. Dark as hell. We permed up his hair and changed his skin color to white. Just because he hates himself that much. So that's the tactic that the white man used to break us apart and to not make us understand that we are one people. I want to explain something to you, bro. In the process of repenting, in the process of coming back to our nationality, our laws, there's a lot of hard decisions we got to make. Look at these are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. These people were never meant to mingle with the other nations on earth. These people were never meant to mingle with the Chinese, with the so-called white man, with the African. God wanted a pure seed. He wanted to make sure that we as a people stayed within ourselves. God is for racism. He's for segregation. He wants to keep us away from them. Because guess what? When we mingle with them, we learn stuff like this. We learn how to worship idols. Back in the days, we used to sacrifice our children to big altars of stone because we learned that from the other nations. We learned to go against God from the other nations, and He knew that. That's why He wanted us to keep away from them, because they were into madness. They were never given the laws, statutes, and commandments that God gave us. To know Him, to have His Son die for us. They were never given that. We're going to read that.
Neither shalt thou make marriages.
I want you to listen, bro.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Right there. The Bible says, neither shall you make marriages with them. Meaning it says, don't marry outside this race. Bro, I want you to hear this.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
It's more important that you get it. It's more important that you get it.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
All right, saying the same thing.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
They will turn away your son from following God. The so-called Chinese, what they worship? Buddha. They worship Krishna, Hinduism. A lot of them into Islam. A lot of Asians into Islam. So if you married your son or daughter into them, just to appease their family, what they're gonna do? They gotta go to temple. They gotta start worshiping a big fat statue. It's gonna happen in the process of time, because our nation, we never have our customs adopted to them. We always have to copy what they're doing. If you go in a room with all white people, you'll find yourself changing your character.
Of course.
If you go into a room with all Asians, you're gonna try to do things to appease them, to make them happy. And God knows that we were going to do that. So He warned us against marrying them. Because if we go into their house, just to make her father happy, you'll go to their banquets and their feasts, and you'll start eating undefiled foods, defiled foods, excuse me. You'll start eating pork because you think you're gonna insult her father. So in the process of time, you're gonna pick up their customs. And back then, their customs were sacrificing children. That was what the Africans used to do. They used to take their children, freshly born, and throw them in the fire. And offer it to gods like Molech, the devil.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
They will turn away your Israelite boys from following the Most High God of Israel.
That they may serve other gods.
That they will serve other gods. Buddha, Islam, Krishna.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
So the anger of the Most High was going to be kindled against us. Meaning because we did this, the anger of God came down upon us. And this is what we're seeing right now. This is an example of the anger of God. See what happened to the so-called blacks? Being sold into slavery. See? These are physical descriptions of the anger of God. It's slavery. When God is mad, we get jacked up as a people. So-called Puerto Ricans and the blacks, the same thing happens to both of them.
You need to tell me that we associate with anything that they have to do, whatever they're doing, we're not supposed to.
Well, this verse specifically says marriage. And we were to marry our own people. Because, brother, let me tell you something. You Puerto Rican, I'm Dominican. What are one characteristic that the majority of our women have? They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. You got people from all around the world going to Puerto Rico and DR to meet women. And when, especially the excuses a lot of brothers use is that, oh, well, I don't really know any Hispanic women around. I don't really associate with them. They all sluts and whores. They all. When we do that, it's us saying we hate our people to not marry one of our people.
The book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12. Beware of all whores, my son.
All right, this is the book of Tobit. Now, Tobit's father, Tobias, right, is telling his son, here you go.
Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Beware of all whoredom. Keep that word in your mind, whoredom.
And chiefly, take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
And mainly, primarily, the first thing you should do is take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, meaning of your people.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
And take not a strange woman, a woman outside this nation to
wife.
To wife.
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is not of thy father's tribe. These are our fathers right here. These are our forefathers. Judah all the way down to Naphtali.
For we are the children of the prophets. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All the great men, all the people in the Bible were all Israelites. You're never going to get around that. Everybody that's mentioned in this book in a positive note was the Israelites. So what Tobias is telling his son, our forefathers were great men. God separated us for a reason. Let's say you have a whole bunch of children. This is what God did. You got a whole bunch of children. This is what people don't want to accept. And it's a hard thing to get over, but guess what? It's the truth. And we're not going to cover the truth. We're going to say it. When a father, you have 10 children. Believe it or not, this was done in my mother had this done to her. The Dominican Republic, back in the days, we had a lot of kids. And not all the kids were going to get the same attention. Some of the kids went to college. Some of the kids stayed at home. So what the parents had to do is they had to pick which one in their mind they thought was going to be the prosperous one. Because not everybody could go to school. Not everybody could go that route. So the Most High, he wanted the people at his right hand. He wanted the people for his name. Because the name of Israel means Prince of the Power. Meaning we have an inheritance with the Most High. So he chose us, not because what we did, because he wanted the people to himself. He wanted the people to make great. He wanted a favorite.
You know what? I've heard it all the time. Why is it that God, as you guys say, and I believe, that the other people say, why would God want to separate as his own race, and then what happens to the other race?
You want to show that? You want to show that? Because one thing we got to understand, brothers, God don't think like a man thinks. God doesn't think like human beings. He doesn't, yeah, everybody asks that, and it's good that they ask, but when the answer comes out, what are they going to do? Are they going to buck up and get angry? Or are they going to accept it? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to change God's mind. We're not even a speck in God's radar. I'm going to show you that in Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, and verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children.
So-called Arabs come from Abraham.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Abraham had a son, Isaac. Isaac had 2 children, Ishmael and Isaac. All right.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Okay, God is what God is doing, he's making a separation between children. He's saying, I'm going to give one line with the promise, and one line isn't going to have the promise. He's making that before they were even born. He made a decision.
I got a piece of that in Galatians, right? Neither because they are the children of the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God.
The other nations are the children of the flesh. That's one way God describes it. Not the Israelites.
But the children of the promise,
like people, like regular animals. Like God is really referring them to animals because they don't have his spirit. The other nations don't. You go to China right now, the Chinese are eating anything on that walks, crawls, and flies.
Absolutely.
They don't have the spirit of God. Look at the crap they serve us.
But the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
The children of the promise are counted for the seed, meaning the Israelites are counted amongst God's mercies. Only us, only our people are going to receive the benefits found in Deuteronomy 28, verse 1 through 15, all throughout the Bible, but the blessings that God was going to give to our people, being fruitful and all the mercy and the blessings, that's only for us.
Yeah. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
So the children of the flesh, meaning the other nations, are not the children of God.